There never seems to be enough time in the day, especially when you're running a business between customers, employees, emails, meetings, and the 100 little things that suddenly become urgent. Finding ways to save even a few minutes can make a huge difference. But sometimes our attempts to be more efficient just create more work somewhere else. In this episode of The Bounce Rate, we're sharing the shortcuts, habits, tools, and routines that actually save us time, and a few that definitely do not. Welcome. We're going to save some time in this episode. It's only going to be 3 minutes long. I'm just kidding.
Right.
This will be a normal length episode, but hopefully we'll come up with some ways that we'll share ways that we save time.
I like how we talk about a normal length episode.
Well, what do you mean?
We don't have length.
It's 20 to 25.
This topic really resonates with me. Being a business owner for over 15 years, I mean, time was a commodity that I just struggled with, right? Like I was always so busy, and I kind of carried that over into my corporate life as well a little bit, right? And so I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say.
Well, the other day we had a meeting where we talked about the history of indoor media and its humble beginnings as a smaller printing company that was making, that had the idea to, create marketing along with receipts and in grocery store products. And it made me think about the evolution of it, where a business will start off and you have enough time to print, this many rolls of tape and sell it to this many people. And then incrementally, as you start doing more of it and there's more resources, you can buy more time-saving things. You can buy more people's time to help you do more of it, buy more technology to increase the amount of output. And it is an incremental growth where, you start with a system that's optimizing time, and every step of the way you have to re-optimize. It's a lot of work to optimize your time.
So interesting enough, at Click and Create, the agency that Mr. Eric started and I ran for over 15 years, we had a little thing. We were super scared of new businesses, right? Because the business owner of someone who's just starting out, they have a lot of time, right? And then a successful business, they have very little time. And so and this is so true, that new business owner was going to stress over every little pixel and detail. And the person running the successful business knew exactly hey, I know what needs to happen. I know the big picture. So that was something we kind of lived and breathed by.
If you're a general contractor, do you want to work for the guy that has a mega business and is totally successful, or somebody that's retired? Yeah. You don't want them in your stuff. That is really, oh God, that really hits home.
I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about traits of very successful people, and they mentioned Steve Jobs and Elon Musk, and they were talking about how they called it signal and noise. They can focus on the signal and cut out the noise, meaning they would be like psychotic about it, where for the next 18 hours or whatever, I'm only focusing on these 1, 2, or 3 things. Everything else is noise. And they would be laser focused and get those things done. And then they can move on to other things.
Such a hard thing for me because I am, this probably isn't the right forum. I am so much of the camp that it wasn't time, it wasn't their leadership, it was dumb, blind luck.
To an extent,
so many of those guys. So you have to have a certain amount of competency, but was Steve Jobs' path the only path that would have made an Apple? I'm like, no.
Sure.
Same thing like Mark Zuckerberg. So I don't really need to know what his, how he thinks, because right now what he is doing with Facebook isn't him.
Right.
He might,
but in the beginning stages,
even
setting
at the
it all up
okay,
let's take the politics out of Elon Musk, but you can't deny that he's accomplished a lot, right? Like whether it's good or bad, he's done a lot. It takes a lot of effort.
Okay, maybe we should take all
Yeah.
that to another discussion
Put
because
different
I really do. I mean, I think there's a lot to be said about how we ascribe a lot more to leaders than I think we should. But going to the time question about how do you manage time, I think I will say I think time is an illusion. I think you've you are more productive and less productive at different times during your day, even during your life. I think the more you do, the more you find you can do. So, and I think I forget the name of the principle, but it's that the work always expands to fill the time. So, if that's the case, if like I have a project that I'm working on. I'm trying to hire people, whatever, and I'm giving myself 3 weeks, but it really only takes a few hours. It will fill up all that time, and I'll feel like, oh, this is taking so long. It's so hard. Blah blah blah. It's like if you had to do it and you'd had to just knock it out, you would have just gotten it done and been done and moved on. So I think if you start looking at all those things, time it's not if you are constantly running out of time, it's not really necessarily that you're in some different space that you can be in a position where I've literally just run out of time and I can't do it. But let's face it, there is always more that we all want to do than you can physically fit in.
Right, and that's the
And
thing.
so it's really always about prioritization.
Right.
And sometimes you have to do that a lot more. Sometimes you have the luxury of doing it less. And so I think it's interesting. So I'm gonna ask you guys. So if I spend time, that concept seems pretty straightforward. It's me doing whatever. So I'm spending time on it. What's buying time?
That's, investing in software, paying someone to do it, an accountant is doing your taxes, right?
Yep, easy enough. So I can transfer. It's not that I'm saving that time. It's just that I bought somebody else to go do it, to do that work and so forth. What is earning time?
Eating healthy?
Maybe. That's yet to be.
Yeah, what would
What would
so if you
earnings-
got buying and using or spending?
Maybe earning time is gaining experience so that you yourself can process things more efficiently than you would have otherwise.
I like that. I've got a particular answer. I think
All right.
that lends to it, that gets there. I'm going to say this. It's eliminating the things that never need to be done again.
Sure.
That is truly the only way you earn time. So if I'm buying time for me, I might be outsourcing a process that is a crap process. It's just that I'm not doing it now. So I'm still having to spend my money to get this crap process done. I've done a transference of the time. I haven't really earned that time. If I go through, look at everything that we're doing and say, you know what? Half of this stuff, I'm just going to drop. It's gone. Bye-bye. Ain't going to happen. I've actually earned that time.
Let's
So
say
that's my model.
let's
Yeah,
say
that
you've
makes
got let's say you've got a situation where you're running a restaurant and you're spending a lot of time updating your menu on a certain part of your website, and you do the work, you do the research, the heat maps, the click maps. You find out no one's going to that part of your website. So you restructure your website so that you don't need that anymore. You probably earned your time there because in your head you thought, well, this is a task, it has to be done. And then you reevaluated the task and you know what? It actually doesn't.
Yeah, I like that. I found many, many years ago making a list of my priority items is really important. Not like literally I write them out. I sit at a desk, right? So if you're moving around, it might be a little different. I find when I do it online, it doesn't resonate as well. But when I can sit there and just look at my list, and because there's a lot of noise, I get a lot of noise, and I struggle with noise, right? Like somebody needs help doing this. Oh, this person wants to do this. Oh, we can dive into that. It's all a distraction from those goals, right?
Yeah. That does remind me of the Food Network. And I'm going to make this brief enough, but I'm going to describe when I first started watching the Food Network. I didn't grow up with cable, so it was a magical new thing that was going on as the Food Network. And Alton Brown, and Bobby Flay, they would always tell people,
Bobby Flay, the salt guy, isn't he the one that like the
no,
saltier? Who's
that's
that guy?
Salt Bay. I don't know
Salt
what that guy's
Bay.
name is. Bobby Flay is the redhead steak guy.
Okay.
But they would always, the Barefoot Contessa, they would always say, you really do need to be making your own chicken stock. And it was difficult for me because I'm like, well, yeah, you can just buy that from the store. Why do I need to spend all day, boiling a chicken and
Chicken bones.
chicken bones? Yeah, there was this period where
Fat.
cooking wise, you go, well, for this to really be good, I need to spend all day making stock. And there's a very good book called Make the Bread, Buy the Butter by Jennifer Reese. I recommend it.
Make the butter by the bread?
Make the bread, buy the butter.
Oh, okay.
And I believe, let's Google it.
I don't know. As I was looking at what you had on your notes.
Did I say it
I
wrong?
think that's right.
Make the bread, buy the butter. Yeah, make the bread, buy the butter.
Okay.
And it's a really good breakdown of what cooking things you do that you're going to find fulfillment from, and what cooking things you do that you really are not going to, it's going to make a marginal difference whether or not you
Marginal. That's a joke. For the butter.
drop, whether or not you make the margarine or not. And I think that's pretty applicable in other areas. One other area for me that just a real life example is that for my acting school, there's on Fridays we have an event, but before the event, there's a 30-minute free orientation thing that happens. And I always lament that because I say, well, this 30 minutes, I really could spend tidying up, dusting, getting things prepared. And I always used to kind of roll my eyes. But in the past couple of years, I realized that event is a time for human connection. And I think that is a good way to determine whether or not you need to spend your time doing something.
Especially if that human is connecting with that dust and getting rid of it before I get there.
You would just be earlier and...
I don't know.
Well, so
I just like
I hear y'all saying...
I like a clean environment.
Well, you too.
Ultimately, identifying the tasks you're doing, prioritizing them based on what has the biggest impact on your bottom line, or, right? Getting rid of some of them because you don't need to be doing them, because even if you do a great job, it has little impact. I see something when I ran my business, and I still see friends that have businesses do this all the time. I think business owners get a little bored. They get antsy. The business is running good. They always want to go into some, I can do this, like a spin-off of their business, right? Or I can add this and they put all this effort and resources into it, and it never really takes off because they're not giving everything to it.
God,
you know what I'm talking about?
I think there's a whole nother episode in when your business loses its luster to you.
Yes, it's going to happen.
And it's so inevitable, and it's so frustrating being from the outside and being involved and watching it happen. And you're like, you have an amazing business. It is just, how can you, and I'll give you an analogy. My buddy Carl, who I've known since the 4th grade, I think he was, I don't think he's doing it now, was a great piano player. Just amazing. I played piano, but I just didn't put in time. He was really, really good. He used to play the Bruce Hornsby stuff all the time and so forth. And I remember going over to his house, and I'd be there, and I'd be saying, "Oh, well, Carl, why don't you play something?" So he'd start playing, and I'd hear his mom, "Carl, knock that off! Stop it!" And I'm like, "This is really good music." But when you hear it over and over and over again, it's like, "Stop playing the piano!" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." just so awesome. But yeah, that's a whole nother episode on losing the luster.
It happens.
Sorry. Yeah. Here's another thing. So Roger, how old are you? Willing to admit this online?
39.
39. And
48.
Roger is 48. And I'll be 56 in November.
Pretty evenly spaced out there.
So Do you feel old, Roger?
Sadly, no.
Well, I don't think it's sadly. I think it's good for you.
Well, I feel like I worry that that's a lack of self-awareness. And obviously, I can count and I see stuff, but physically, I do not yet feel exhausted. No, so to clarify, right now I feel exhausted, yeah, for sure. But I just mean in terms of what I want to accomplish in life, I don't feel like I'm close.
Okay. I think so. What about you, James?
I feel old, man.
You feel old?
Yes. And you want to know why?
Yeah, because you can't surf.
My 20s were awesome, like amazing. And every decade is just getting harder and harder after that, right? Like it's
To do what you were doing.
well, no, to like I was traveling and surfing and partying and having experiences. Now I'm working, taking care of family, right? Like, you know what I mean? So it wears you
But
down. man.
how old are your kids? Let me
15 and
rephrase that.
17.
How many
Teenagers.
days until you're an empty nester?
So I ask me in a few years,
Yeah.
and that might change.
Yeah, it is
Because
different.
I'm at the end of that road of it's a grind, man.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
hopefully I'm optimistic that my youth I will rejoin my youthfulness in the near future.
So my friends, I've got friends that are a little bit older than I am, and they're in their 60s, and a group of them just turned 60 and so forth. And their phrase is that your 60s are go, go, go. Your 70s are no, no, no. and so they're starting to look, a lot of them are contemplating retirement and where that ends and so forth. I think it's interesting because at 55, you can look at it and say, okay, well, 10 years to retirement, to whatever the government says is official retirement. 65 has been a number around for a long time, even though technically it's 67, whatever. Like 10 years. Well, if I think about 10 years ago, like where was I then and how much have I done in 10 years? I'm like, wow, 10 years is a long time looking back.
Right.
I'm like, 10 years is forever. I didn't even become a sentient, conscious person until I turned probably 25. I mean, I was just a kid
For sure.
before that, and so that's only 20. So I've only lived, maybe 2/3 or maybe even only half of my real adult life. That seems incredible. But I have a friend that's 62, and he says, "Well, that's good." Good to be thinking that way. And you have a 10-year run. I mean, I could change careers. I could become a comic genius. I could become a surfer, whatever. I could go do that. I have that time, 10 years, long run. He says the difference is when you start being 58 or 59 and you're looking at 62 and a half, you can start taking benefits out and start taking money out. You're like, well, I only have 4 years now. And so in 2 years, I'm going to lose 6 years on my outlook possibly and have to regroup. So I just think the whole time thing, that's why I really say, I go back to time's an illusion. It's a matter of perspective.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and I think one key thing is that it all depends on what you want out of your time in your life. For one person, if your goal is purely, I want to become the most profitable pizza shop in my town, then your time objectives are going to be different than if someone wants to retire early or if somebody wants to raise a family. You kind of have to figure that out for yourself.
Yeah, and then all of which also brings up the other question about people that are local business owners or salaried employees. Their sense of time isn't typically hourly based. It's usually commitment based. So even just socially, like James has his kids, there's cars, there's things you have to pay for. When those bills hit, that monthly nut that comes in, when I have to go pay my sales tax to the government, when I have to fork out payroll to whoever's working for me, that becomes my measure. When I'm an hourly employee, my time every hour counts as something. And it's a very different shift in how you're looking at your day to day. So again, it's all an illusion, man. Just let it go. Just let it go.
Well, thank you for listening. I just noticed right outside there's a police box. It just kind of floated out here, like one of those English police boxes.
I am so tempted to try to make the noise in the mic, but I don't think.
I thought you were going to.
I don't think I can.
You don't want to damage your mic.
I can't. And I'm not as cute as Kieran Gillian.
Who is?